Welcome to Wake Up West Palm, real conversations with the people behind the storefronts, stages, and services you love. From first pours to final curtain, we explore how local businesses and partners move our community forward. Join us once a month every second Wednesday. Watch live on Facebook and YouTube. Follow Downtown West Palm Beach to meet the faces, find new favorites, and make the most of your downtown. Welcome to Wake Up West Palm, where we talk all things downtown West Palm Beach, and you get to meet some of the incredible people and businesses in our beautiful community. Today, we are at Palm Beach Ebikes Rentals, and I am joined by co-founder Scotti Williams Luxton. Scotti, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here.
I love the space.
Thank you. I mean, we worked really hard on it, so I'm glad.
It is adorable. So tell us about Palm Beach Ebikes and how it all began.
Yeah, so we have been open now a year here in downtown West Palm, and last year, probably like around mid-summer, I lost my corporate job, and my sister came to me and said, hey, I have an idea. So backstory on her, she actually started Acadia E-Bike Adventure 3 years ago up in Bar Harbor, Maine. Her and her husband started very small. She was a ER physician's assistant up in Bar Harbor, and she went e-biking one day and decided that that was her next opportunity. She saw the business plan, she saw the business model, and her husband bought a few bikes, maybe 10 bikes to start. Actually, it was probably more like 6 bikes to start. Started renting them very low key, became bigger, and now she has a thriving business up there. They rent 50 to 60 e-bikes a day up in Bar Harbor, Maine in the summer and then the fall. So when I lost my corporate job, she's like, hey, what are you doing? She wanted an opportunity to come here and be here in the winter time, and actually have something to do. So we bought a few bikes. We bought about 10 pink e-bikes, and she brought the rest of her fleet here, and we went for it. We got the space, we painted it pink, and just started building our brand.
Wow. Did you ever think you would be the co-founder of this kind of business?
Absolutely not. I'm going to be honest. I'm not incredibly passionate about e-biking, but I'm very, passionate about wellness and being outside and being active. And I have found a passion for it now. And, just relearning the beauty of, how beautiful it is. We live in this gorgeous area, and people don't explore it enough. And that's what I think I'm more passionate about than just biking in general.
Yeah, that's amazing. You're giving people a platform in which to do that and experience West Palm Beach in such a unique way.
Exactly.
So you and your sister grew up in West Palm, and then you both went off to explore different areas of the world.
Yep.
And you came back.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to come back home, and what do you love about doing business in downtown West Palm Beach?
Yeah, so I was actually born here. My sister was born in Virginia. She moved here as a very young little girl. And we have 2 other sisters, and my sister actually went to Palm Beach Lakes High School, which is now School of the Arts. So, we are OG kids here. And then I grew up more in the Wellington area. And after college, I just, like everybody, just wanted to explore. I'd only ever lived in Florida. I went to college up in North Florida, and I said, well, let's just move to New York City. Life's already hard. Let's make it hard. Let's make it the hardest possible. So I lived up in New York City for a few years, and I got started in my corporate career, which was technology recruitment. And I did that for about 15 years. I lived in New York and Philadelphia, and also Boston as well for a little bit. And then I decided that tour was over. It was time to kind of get serious about my life and next steps and what I wanted to do. I was pretty set in my career. I was working remotely, and then I came back here, and I actually started working for a consulting company that's actually owned by another family member of mine, and did that. Met my husband, had a baby, actually reverse order, had a baby, then got the husband.
Details.
And then Robin, the reason she moved, she's actually a physician's assistant at St. Mary's for years. 4 years. And she got a job doing locums, to be a locums physician's assistant for 2 hospitals one in New York and then one in Maine. And then from there, she got a referral for Bar Harbor. And that's when she decided to work full-time as a physician's assistant in the ER at Bar Harbor Hospital. And that's obviously kind of where the whole thing spiked. She was doing that and also Airbnb her apartment. They bought, an 1887 home. She redid the whole thing. And she actually knew that there was like more of like a tourism thing there. And she hated the whole Airbnb process. They lived downstairs. The Airbnbers were upstairs. So she sold that, bought the building where she now does all of her business, and really just like went for it. And she wanted nothing more than to be here. After she met my son for the first time, she fell in love with him. She was like, I will do anything to be with that boy more. So, that's when she decided to come back down here. She actually just got a house here. So she's very excited to be homeowner in Florida again.
Oh, beautiful. So if this is not a story to inspire you, that it's never too late to start a new business, to do something new,
for sure,
to have a business right here in downtown West Palm Beach. So what do you love about doing business down here?
Being able to do business in a place where you grew up is incredible, because, I am relearning how much I loved this place. Obviously downtown West Palm is a very different place from when I was little. And we weren't allowed to come down here much, but like we came down here for big events, for fireworks, and we had a boat, and we would always bring the boats like out into the beach area. We would come to the beach here. This was like where we used to come to as kids. And that's like kind of a magical thing, is, relearning everything that we loved about this city. And now that it's growing as exponentially as it is, seeing major restaurants from New York come. This is incredible. It's nice to not have a Cheesecake Factory or an Outback Steakhouse. We're really blossoming at this time.
Yeah, there's just something so unique about this area. And it's cool when you meet people that have experienced it so many years ago, and then they come back because of its richness and its history, which I know that you really have a passion for, and weave into all of the tours that you have with the e-bikes. So what was that process of learning the history, and then really how did you craft the tours that you now take people on?
So Robin and I actually can't take credit for our guided tour at all. We've done a lot of book reading, but we have another sister who is an absolute history buff, and she loves history. So she actually wrote our tours for us. It was like an 11-page
Keeping it all in the
document.
family. I love
Absolutely.
this.
Yes. So she pretty much wrote all of the history that we kind of take our tours from. We'd take little bits and pieces of what she had. We read some other books and kind of take some parts of things that we've learned in her tours, and that's kind of what we've crafted. And we really went for the Gilded Age when it comes to our guided tours. We really like to talk about the beginning, like where did Palm Beach originate from? Who were the original people? Henry Flagler, and then we talk about E.R. Bradley. Flagler brought the people, Bradley brought the fun, and then Addison Meisner, he like really brought the charm. So, those were the founders that we like to focus on in our tours, because, that's the reason why we have a society in this town, at least on the Palm Beach side society.
Is there a tour, or is there a part of the tour or a story that people are really surprised by, or just kind of surprise and delights them to learn about?
Yes, it's absolutely the story of Flagler and his wives. It's always one of everybody's favorite. His first wife was his true love. They had children together. He built his business when he was with her, but she passed away from tuberculosis in her early ages, like maybe in her early 40s. And he, at that time, married who was taking care of his son at the time, which was the caregiver, and her name was Alice Ida. And he had renamed her to Alicia to match her new status. But Alicia was a little eccentric in terms of that. And she actually started talking to the Russian Tsar through a Ouija board.
Oh, okay.
And had a picture painted with herself and the Russian Tsar and had it sent to him. And Flagler somehow intervened. That's his second wife. And his third wife, Mary Lily, the one that most people know, because that's what he made Whitehall for, which was the Flagler Museum that stands today. And she was a mistress, and he actually went to the state of Florida being like, I've got this other wife that's in an insane asylum, but I want to marry this other one, so what is it going to take? So he paid $4 million during the early 1900s to pass a law that says that if your wife is legally insane, that you can remarry. And that actually happened, and the bill was passed, and he was the only one to ever use it, and it only stood for 2 years.
Okay, so you thought you were just gonna come and learn a little bit about, biking downtown and maybe go to some restaurants. This is a lot. This is a lot of information. So if people are thinking, let's kind of paint a picture. I want to help people because they might be thinking, hey, I did not know any of this. I want to learn more about downtown West Palm Beach. And so what is the experience like when people come to get a tour?
Yeah, so when people come to get a tour, we actually we do 2 hours guided with me or my sister, and we might be hiring a guide this year as well. We do not a ton of biking, so the 2 hours guided is a lot of talking, going through West Palm. We go to Bradley Park, and then we also talk in front of the Flagler Museum. And then sometimes we either go to Worth Avenue or we go to the Breakers, depending on what the group as a whole wants to do and what they want to talk about. And then sometimes we let the people keep the bikes after, because that's when you can bike a little bit more and do your own. So we usually say 2 hours guided and then 1 hour kind of on your own to explore if you want to grab lunch, whatever you want to do. So sometimes it changes because the groups are different, and they're like, hey, I just want to go to the seafood bar and grab a drink. And we're like, okay, let's do it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
I know that you just recently started offering corporate tours, which is really cool because you're inviting business owners to now have this really great team building experience for people. So tell us about that. And you're excited about expanding that side of the business.
For sure, because that's great. So we've been working with like big destination management groups, and we're talking like groups of, almost 40 people. And we usually break them up into groups of 10, and, everybody loves a good ride up to the north side of the island. And we actually don't do it on the lake trail. We do it more on the ocean side. So like they're getting to see a lot more of the mansions and seeing the area, because they're coming in for these corporate events at like the Breakers and the O. But doing something like that gets them out of that environment and actually like seeing more, even more than you can see on a boat. The boats, you can see the outsides of the homes, but you don't get to see the front of the homes, which is great.
Yeah, it's just a really cool, something different. Like you said, so many people don't really realize the history of downtown West Palm Beach, and people that have lived here for years and years, and we're always looking for new and exciting things to take advantage of on a weekend, or if you have friends that are in town.
Yep.
So this is something that's really special and unique for people to do, and not everyone knows that you exist yet. But this is the best time to come out and learn a lot more about our beautiful community.
Absolutely, for sure. And it's so funny you say that, because I had friends that would come and visit me and my husband for like the past 7 years. They come once a year. And 2 years ago, we came to the Breakers, and they looked at me and they were like, why is this our first time here? We've been here. And I'm like, that's on me, because I live up north. So it's hard for, not hard to come down here, but, the traffic and the crowds and, it's like all of these things. But then every time you do it, it's worth it every single time. So.
Yeah. Well, now they've experienced it, and I'm sure they've experienced the bike tours as well. You also, in addition to biking, if you're not a biker, you have a moke now.
Yes,
which
we do.
I don't know if you know what that is, but why don't you tell everyone what is a moke and what they can experience?
So a moke is technically a cruise car. A cruise car. It goes up to 25 miles per hour. You can ride it on any road that's under 35 miles an hour. And it's basically like an upgraded golf cart, let's say. It's the special edition Lily Pulitzer moke. So it's very Palm Beach. We expect to see lots of girls in pinks and lots of husbands, spouses bringing their significant others for a nice little ride. It's just a really fun, everything's like an Instagrammable moment these days. And just being able to be in there with your girlfriends and drive around in a fun little cruise car for a couple of hours, it's literally the best, I will say. Aww. That is something I'm very passionate about.
What do you want people to feel after they come back from a tour? And what are some of the things that people say?
Yeah, so we call it the glow. So it's like when people come back and they're like, I had the best day of my life. I fell 3 times, but gosh, it was just like so fun, not that everybody falls 3 times, but it's just nothing can get in their way of a bad day. They went 15 miles per hour, and they were seeing these beautiful homes, and they got to have one-on-one time with their spouses, which I don't think, it's so important. You're doing something active together, even though you're not working out, and it's more of like a leisure activity. It's just, it's just like a really fun kind of like almost like a team building experience, you know, because you have maps, you have to figure out where to go, what to do, you have to have conversations. So that's kind of like what it is. It's like everybody feels so connected after.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of connections, how do you collaborate with some of the other downtown local businesses?
Yeah, so we are part of the Green Market. We do the Green Market on Saturdays, which we love. And then we've also partnered with a lot of the wellness groups in the area too. I love what they're doing. I love that, you know, they're getting these younger professionals to come together on a Saturday and do 8 workouts. That was not what I was doing when I was in my 20s and 30s. I was doing other things, but I love that sense of community that they're bringing to West Palm. So we've connected with a lot of them, doing a lot of those events. And really, you know, we also help some other businesses. We have like other vendors come in on Saturdays and Sundays for coffee, for food, just to kind of offer some other things to our customers as well on our busier days.
Lots of experiences.
Yes, exactly.
In addition to the e-bikes and the moke tours, you also do some e-bike services and repair.
Yep.
Tell us about those offerings.
Yes, so we have our bike tech. His name's Juan. He can come in and he can do pretty much anything that a bike would need. You know, we don't really like to play with any kind of battery replacement or anything that has to do with that. But if there's a problem with an e-bike or regular bike, we can always take a look at it. We have a full repair shop. So tune-ups, whatever your bike needs. You just need some air. You're always welcome to stop in and grab some from us as well.
Awesome. And what is your favorite, do you have a favorite spot or local restaurant downtown that you and your husband, you love to go to?
Well, I will say my favorite thing is to grab Buchan Sandwich Shop with the bikes and either like go find a cute little courtyard and have it over there or bring it back here. I will say that's probably my ultimate, you know, a sub, a cookie, and a lemonade. Happy girl.
Aw, simple. The simplicity of life.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Well, Scotti, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for having me.
This was so nice to learn a little bit more about this. And if you're not planning your next e-bike tour, I don't know what you're doing, because this is the next thing that you need to do with your family and friends.
Yes.
Take them out.
And when you come, we have maps, we have recommendations on what to do. We're trying to build more of an experience, not just come and grab a bike and do what you want. So you don't have to plan anything. We've got you covered.
They got you. Scotti, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for watching. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time.
This show is brought to you by West Palm Beach Downtown Development Authority.